Please give a warm Bulldog welcome to Latham Sadler.
Wow, folks, that was a very generous and kind introduction, and thank you so much for the warm welcome home here. A lot of thank yous I could give tonight, and it would take the rest of the evening to name everybody, but I do want to name a few folks. But for starters, I'd like to thank God, not for an award, but for His grace in my life that I'll never deserve. I'd like to thank my family sitting right over here for their just unconditional support, for all of my outlandish endeavors, specifically my wife, Melissa, for being my rock and my love throughout all our time apart. Thank you, baby. Next, I've got to thank my nominators, David Fisher and Dave Battle, for thinking of me for an award like this. I mean, that alone was an award to me that is beyond anything that I could ever deserve. So thank you, gentlemen, for thinking of me for that. And Dave Battle actually mentioned earlier, he said, hey, no pressure, but they actually throw this thing on YouTube, and people look you up after that. So thank you, Dave. So next, folks, I'd be remiss if I didn't call out the legend himself, Earl T. Leonard, who couldn't be here tonight. But I had lunch with Earl earlier today, and good old Earl was firing on all cylinders, and he's just had such a huge impact on my life and really demonstrates what a donor, like so many of the folks in the room today, can do for students here at the University of Georgia by spending their time, talents, and resources. And I had the opportunity to benefit from that myself. So hats off to those in the room that are committed to the Terry College of Business here at UGA. And folks, lastly, but never least, I'd like to thank our great president of this university, Jerry Moorhead. Jerry has been a dear friend, a great mentor throughout my time at UGA and since. You've always been in my corner, Jerry, and I'll never forget it. And he's going to hate me for doing this, but I really want us to recognize him and recognize the fact that it is very uncommon for a university, particularly a major one like ours, to have a president who has spent the majority of his professional life in service of this one institution over 3 decades and has invested in the lives of so many individual students and alumni. I think we need to take a moment and give a massive hand of applause for our president, Jerry Moorhead. Thank you. So I'll be quick. There's a number of things that come to mind that make me most proud of being a Terry grad. But as I reflect on my time at Terry and being associated with fellow alums from this great college, there's one thing in particular that really stands out, and it's, we've got phenomenal academics, have a very reputable business school here. But there's something even more than that that frankly I'm most proud of, and there's just a mindset, kind of a sort of tenacity that people have when they graduate from the Terry College of Business. I mean, you never meet a Terry grad who's entitled. I mean, and nobody that graduates from Terry expects to ride some sort of wave of entitlement to success. everybody picks up their paddle and they row. And for me, as I reflect back on what I'm most proud of as a Terry graduate, it's that, and it's an honor to be associated with everybody here today, specifically for that mindset. The other thing I want to mention is in my work in D.C. right now, I'm getting to work on all sorts of stuff throughout this year that I've never touched before. And one of the things we work on is workforce development. So how are we going to prepare the American worker for the tidal wave ahead and the many changes that technology is going to bring, specifically through AI and automation? And there's a lot of concern, I mean, in a lot of cases, genuine concern about jobs that'll be replaced, skills that'll be replaced. But as I've sort of reflected on this, I've thought about this, and you know what one thing will never be replaced by a machine? It's leadership. And this college has been ahead of the game on the leading edge for decades in investing in young leaders. And I've gotten to have the good fortune of benefiting from that. And I gotta say, folks, hats off to the Terry College of Business, to Dean Ayers under your leadership for continuing that investment in leadership. It's such an honor to be here today. Thank you so much for this warm welcome home. And God bless and go Dogs.
Today's rapidly evolving economy presents